Yep, it's that catchy little tune again. I get to doing the head bob by the time it goes off every time. So, what's up,
Yeah.
everybody? Hello, hello. Glad to see everybody join us. The shack is full of stuff, guys. It is full of stuff. There.
Not to interrupt you, but there's a green ghost behind you.
Oh yeah, that's classified. We can't talk about that. We can't talk about that. That's classified. Not yet. We'll be able to talk about it soon. There's another one back. Well, that one's not. I don't wait. Yeah, I don't think that one's classified. Not that. It's the end of August, right? Yeah, I think that one's fine.
Uh,
Yeah, pay no attention to the green thing right there.
tech,
Just pretend that's not there.
technically, the same thing is slightly visible in both of our videos.
Let's see.
I'm just better at camouflaging it.
Oh yeah, I see it now. I see it. Yeah, you've got a little thing in the way. But yeah, we got some new stuff around the shops, guys. I don't have a way of covering that up. Anyway, I forgot to like sit like if wait a minute, hang on.
You just need to be taller.
I can sit like that. That does a pretty good job.
Yeah, that looks comfortable.
It's not. But yeah, we've been busy, guys. Too many companies are releasing too many things that are too cool, and I'm having a hard time saying no to them. So that's where we're at with that. Y'all saw the video on the Asmer X1, which was it's massive. It's cool. I wish I had a place that I could keep it because it is. I do see to where there's going to be some projects that I'm going to need that work area for, but they're going to be so few and far between that I'm afraid it's just not worth the real estate that it's going to take in the meantime. So for me, if I had like a 50-foot shop and I had a corner that I could set it in and not worry about it, that would be okay. But I don't have that extra room. It is very crowded in here right now. There's several machines in here that I'm testing out, doing some reviews and checking them and playing with them and making all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah, me and Steve both have been very busy with that. So what other than the machine stuff, what's going on at your place there, Steve?
Oh, well, we are right in the middle of back to school season, at least especially at the college. So last week I was busy with faculty coming back, and tomorrow students come back. But this weekend, the weather gods have been so nice to us. I opened things up, and it was actually got down to 64 in here this morning.
Ew.
And the humidity's come way down. It's actually down. It's almost cut in half because I was pushing 70 something percent humidity in here, and now I'm into the 40s. So I've been enjoying a nice weekend. Speaking of new stuff, I had to upgrade my assembly table just to put one together. And so I did that, picked up some materials on Friday evening, and then worked on it yesterday, and then did drop a video. Had to go live this morning because I was up way too late editing last night. But just I used the laser to make some brackets, and it's supporting a larger piece of plywood on top just to keep it level and supported. But I threw in some shop tips between breaking down material, some glue stuff in there, little rant about transportation of items, and had some fun with it while also that was mostly shot on this. People always ask us what our equipment is.
Yeah, I don't have one of those. I saw you were showing it off in that video, and I was like, which camera is he talking about?
So yeah, I picked this up this year, and I've been using it a little bit, but this was the first time I kind of used it primarily. There are a few B-roll shots with like cell phone footage, but this was even, and I also went with just the onboard microphone, which made it a little rough. But
yes, anyway. There was some noise there that I don't know if that was from the camera or.
Well, two things. Had the doors open, and there was a pretty good breeze coming through. We had a nice breeze, and Canada's not on fire right now, which is nice. So the cold air came without smoke. But so that was coming through, and then also that Ohmtech Polar Light, it has that bank of fans in the back, which do a really good job of extracting the smoke, but they got a bit of a whine to them. So
they're not stealthy.
no. So, but yeah, basically built that up for what we see back there. Cat's kind of out of the bag on that one.
Yeah, there's definitely. I've seen some videos out there, so I don't think we can get. I know we're not necessarily scheduled to be releasing full content, but I know there's been some folks dropped it out there. So I'm not. I'm like you because it's. I did a little short teaser, but yeah, that one's out there. I've seen some stuff released by Adam Stack as well as some other folks. So yeah, but that's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a decent machine. It basically looks like to me they had a whole bunch of parts for the A70 sitting around, the A70 Max. And we're like, you know what? We got all these parts. We need to come up with something that we can build with them because it is very similar to the A70 that me and you have. It's just the bigger version of the machine. So,
yeah. So yeah, I got that. Got the table built, got the laser assembled on there. And so hopefully the weather holds out to let me continue to keep the doors open. So until we figure out the whole exhaust thing, enclosure thing, it's gonna be kind of open air. But then the other small thing that I did drop is I kind of teased it, I think a week ago, had a box from Ohmtech, and it is the new Solus fiber laser. So it's a dual source galvo laser because it is a 30 watt fiber and a 20 watt blue diode machine. So definitely kind of going after that X-Tool F1 Ultra market. It does also have a camera in there as well. So a lot of the features they're touting, but yeah, so that came in. I did do a short on it and playing a little bit with a few materials, but we'll be doing more testing on that one to have more information on that soon. So yeah, it's a number of things in the shop, number of things working on, and all around start of school, which is fun for me.
Yeah. Well, it's getting close to time for me to be through with going to work every day. So hopefully I'll get a little bit more time to do stuff. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm slammed over here. I can't use half of my tools in my shop because I got stuff sitting everywhere. I have no more places to do stuff. So
just a couple of little sneak previews of that Solus, though. I was running some tests today, and this is on MDF. So this is just an engraving.
Is that the blue? Is that using the blue, I'm assuming?
This is using the blue. Here's another one. A nice wolf. So it's doing some nice quality.
That's some dark, that's dark black. I got to give it
that was at about 66% power. Now I used the IR on this card.
Yeah.
To get a pretty decent engrave on the Balrog scene as well. So been doing a little playing with that today while working on wrenching on other things as well. So more to come.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of been my thing. I've been going from like one thing to the other. I'd get a job running, and then I'd turn around and get through with that job and be working on something else. I've been moving some stuff out, clearing some stuff, making some space. Probably going to be having a yard sale here before too long. So any of you guys that follow me on Facebook or whatever, stay tuned, be on the lookout. If you're within driving distance of where I'm at, I've actually got several things that are going to have to go somewhere here soon. So if you're within driving distance of me, be sure to pay attention to Facebook over the next month or so. I'm trying to make some room because I do want to try to hang on to this ASMR for a little while to just to play with it and do some of the bigger jobs. But in order to do so, I've had to move some machines around. Y'all know I had been working for about a year to try to find me a good setup that I liked for doing tumblers. Well, I finally got that done. So the S1 is not over there on my little cart anymore. I cleared that space up. So I've moved a whole bunch of stuff around and put some stuff in storage. And I'm trying to figure out exactly what's going to leave here and what ain't. I do have the meet and greet coming up in October. So any of you that plan on attending for that, there is going to be some machines that I'm taking to that meet and greet with me. I'm not bringing them back home. So we're going to have basically leading up to the meet and greet, I'm going to have a form on my website for any of you guys that watch me either in the Sunday Night Live or just regular content. You can sign up before the event. But because there's going to be a whole bunch of people there from some of the other channels that plan on attending, the registration for the drawing is going to be like basically ending 24 hours before the event. That way, only the people that watched me and came to the event for that reason are going to be eligible to win, not the people from other channels that don't know nothing about a laser. Because last time I did this, I ended up giving away a laser to somebody who didn't even know what a laser was, because they just were like, oh, you're giving something away, let me put my name in the hat. So what I'm doing this year is it's going to be pre-registration only for whatever the things are. And there's probably going to be several, because I've got me a nice little pile of things that I can't put back in a box that are going with me. And that's the problem. And I know Steve has the same issue. A lot of times with these machines, some of these are pretty complex assemblies, and neither one of us have room for the boxes and the foam and all the stuff. And so you put them together and the box gets disappeared. And then when you decide you want to get rid of it, it's kind of like you have to like put it in somebody's vehicle or something. You can't put it back in the box. So that's kind of where we're at. I've got a couple of machines that I do have that I've gotten back in the box, and I'm going to be having some stuff out on those pretty soon. But yeah, so if you're coming in October, there's an event on my Facebook page. If you're coming to that event, just know there's going to be some machines up for the taking. I'm assuming because in order to drive here, it's not going to be that many people making the trip. So your chances of winning a machine are pretty good if you're coming. So if you don't mind driving to Chilton County, Alabama, there may be a pretty good motivators for doing so.
Yeah.
What's Cody saying about a minivan over there?
Well, he says after having 5 kids, he's all about the minivan. Just own it.
Hey, I'm going to tell you, the other day when I was coming back with my material that I went and bought for building this ASMR, like basically I had to build a table topper that had some, that was wider than 4 foot. And so I went and grabbed 2 sheets of plywood and some 2x4s, and I'm coming back from Prattville, which is about a 35-minute ride back to my house. And I get like 10 minutes from the house, and the sky just turns black and it starts pouring down rain. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Luckily it wasn't, this lumber that I got. It's not anything special. It's, just construction grade 3/8 plywood and some 2x4s. But yeah, I was thinking to myself, man, I give Steve crap sometimes, but it would really be nice if my wood wasn't back there getting rained on right now, because my truck bed's only 5.5 feet. So even if I wanted to, I couldn't put a full sheet in there and shut the tailgate. So,
well, I mean, I'll even take it a step further. I went up to Matt Cremona's place to pick up some live edge elm boards that he told me, he's like, yep, they're 10 feet long. Well, they were longer than 10 feet, but I was able to get them inside the van. I had to fold down the passenger seat up front and kind of lay them in that way. But I was able to get those inside the van and drive them home from up on the north side of the Twin Cities. So, you think it's bad you trying to haul a 8-foot sheet of plywood in your 5.5-foot bed. Imagine if it was an 11-foot, you got less than half of it sitting inside your bed. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you, I've been contemplating. Like, I get on Marketplace sometimes playing around. I know Ryan gets in trouble when he gets on Marketplace, but I'll get on Marketplace every now and then, and I'll be scrolling, and you'll see these Econoline, like these painter vans with the ladder rack and everything, and I'm like,
yep.
Could I? I mean, could I put some decals on that? I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea with me having to drive 35 minutes to go get lumber, because about every given day here during the summer, there's like a 50% chance of thunderstorms. I mean, it's just that's the way it is. So you could leave home and it'd be the most beautiful day of the summer, and you get halfway back home and all of a sudden there's 2.5 inches of rain before dark. And so it would be nice. I've got a box enclosed trailer, but man, that's a hassle pulling that thing to go get a couple sheets of plywood,
Yep.
So, but yeah, you had me. I was kind of envious the other day. I was like, man, if I told Brandy when I got back, I was like, Steve's always telling me his plywood doesn't get wet when he goes and picks it up, and mine got soaked.
Yeah, well, I that's just the thing is for me. I mean, it was kind of the same thing as Cody there. Of course, it only took 2 kids for us. My wife had we had a Dodge Neon. We had our second kid. Well, we had a Jeep Wrangler for her. I had a Dodge Dakota. She had a Jeep Wrangler, and we're like, nope, this isn't going to work. So we traded in the Jeep on a Dodge Neon. Kind of regret that one. But then the second kid came along, and we're like, yeah, no, we need a van. And then I ended up getting a Suburban after that because the boys were getting too big because I just had that club cab Dakota and got that. But then I started driving all over the country. So I'm like, well, rather than pay twice as much gas for the Suburban, I'm going to take your minivan. And then I just never gave it back because I found out how useful it was, especially back when I was hauling model airplanes all around.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was the van we got. It was a Town and Country with the Stow and Go, and that's where I fell in love with that Stow and Go. That's the thing that I wish Chrysler was still making them that way. But it is, for hands down across the board, daily driver, family vehicle, interior cargo. And I do have, in fairness, a 5x8 open trailer as well as a 5x8 enclosed trailer, which has been parked since 2019 at this point. But the open frame trailer does help me when I have some bigger things, or like I hauled some brush with it the other day. But I have not found a need for a straight up truck in a long time. And if that random rare occasion comes up, I can either rent one or I've got some friends.
You're like me. I go to Tractor Supply. That's where I buy all my dog, cat food, chicken food, and all that. I went there the other day, and the lady's like, "Oh, by the way, you've got like so much money on your rewards thing," and she's like, "You've also got like 4 trailer rentals," and I'm like, "I literally have 3 trailers in my yard right now. I've got my little small trailer for my buggy, my lawnmower, just small stuff. If I need to go pick up a refrigerator, something like that. I've got my enclosed trailer, which is slap full of laser stuff that I use for events. And then I've got a 16-foot trailer that I use to haul logs. It's got a log arch built on it and everything. And I use it to haul my tractor with. So, but here lately, the only trailer I've used is the enclosed one to go to events, because I don't ever really take my tractor anywhere or my lawnmower. So yeah, I've got all these trailers sitting around. Oh, and the boat trailer, don't forget it, but it's got a boat on it, so you really can't use it for anything. But yeah, there's a lot of tires to have to worry about.
Yep. So anyway,
Brian won't know, would flames be wrong on a minivan, on a man van? So he's asking
I hope he's talking about the like the vinyl decal kind and not.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to see flames coming out of my van.
Let's hope not. Then you'd have to be replacing it.
Yeah, but yeah. So you're doing your meet and greet in October, right?
Yes, don't make me lie. I think it's the 27th or 24th. I gotta go look at my own event. But that's why I create events. It's May's event that she's having, and she asked me to partner with her and do the meet and greet part of it. And I've kind of got nominated to kind of be like heading that up. Got to the next month. I'm really going to push, because I've got some folks that told me they were going to be there that hadn't sent me their graphics and all that kind of stuff. Yes, October 24th is when it is.
Okay.
And I'll drop a link down here. So folks will know.
I'm not 100% sure if and how I'll be attending, but a couple weeks before that, and I'll drop a link as well. There's the Minnesota Woodworkers Expo. A couple years ago, I did set up and did some demos, a lot more talking than demos. But they keep inviting me back. Last year I was busy. This year I'm not 100% sure if I'll be busy or not. And also I wish I knew that we were going to have good weather, because I'd feel a lot more comfortable setting up and actually doing demos outdoors. But That is one that I may be going to again. And at least, I mean, if I don't set up and demonstrate, I might just hang out for part of the day and whatnot. I know I've met people there the past couple of years, so that might be a kind of a meet and greet kind of thing for us Northerners or anybody in the area that wants to get together for that. It's a pretty good show for just a lot of general woodworking, creating stuff as well. So it's kind of a fun. It's free admission, free parking. So if you're in the area, I would definitely check it out, and I'll try to be there. I don't know that I'll be officially presenting or demoing or anything though.
Yeah. Oh, appreciate it, Melissa. Thank you there. Like I said, that's awesome. What we got here? I'm trying to scroll through these comments. There's quite a few of them. Oh, wait a minute.
Well, I did my best to inundate it with minivan coverage.
Chris said today's live brought to you by the number 38. He's been watching too much Sesame Street.
Yeah.
But yeah, 38 more days, guys. 38 more days. And we will be I actually got my letter in the mail that basically was my letter from the state of Alabama that
Telling
said
you to pack up and get out. You're a victim.
No, they basically just confirmed with me that my first check will be deposited into my account the last day of October. So we're ready to go. But I can't work. Like September is the latest I can work. I can't work after September. Because if I do, then that date goes back another month. So, so as long as I exit during September, I am good to go. Everything's set up, ready to go. All my paperwork's done, tax documents, direct deposit, everything's ready to go. So,
yeah,
if I come up missing, Brandy did it.
She's got the survivor benefit.
Yep, 100%. So yeah, we've got that set up. So it is official unless something really bad happens and we were to have to cancel. I don't see that happening. I have come too far, worked too hard to get to this point. So yeah, officially last day of September will be the last day that I can be employed. So I'll be self-employed after that. So y'all stay around and support me, please. I need you to.
Well, there's been a few comments about this, so we should chat about it a little bit. So
yeah,
if you aren't aware, I think it was yesterday morning, really early in the morning, Leo posted an explanation in the Rolly Automation user group, at least, basically stating that due to some family and health reasons and whatnot, that he can no longer continue and he's going to be shutting down the business. And he has been reaching out to other companies, and he's also basically made the code and the firmware for the Galvomatic available, hoping that someone else will pick that up. But yeah, that's a bit of a blow. I know both of us have got their machines and have enjoyed using them, and they've been one of the best at pre-sales and after-sales support. And they kind of set the gold standard for support amongst at least hobby diode lasers. So yeah, they're going to be winding down business. He's going to be open. They're continuing to manufacture and support things for 6 months to a year. I've heard kind of the date range. So keep that in mind if you've got one. Maybe keep an eye on the website for any spare parts you want to get. But it sounds like after this last little bit, they're not going to be available anymore. So.
Yeah, now, like I said, I've never met Leo personally, but we've exchanged lots of emails over the past few years. Like this, 2 years? And most recently, we were talking about the Galvomatic and some of the stuff like that. And yeah, it kind of caught me off guard too, because he had told me back when they first released information on the Galvomatic, they were discussing one timeline, and it was just like the timeline came and went, and I was like, okay, maybe they ran into some trouble. But yeah. So, prayers for Leo and his family and whatever it is that they're going through. But yeah, it's I hate to see the company as a whole go away, because I think that it was a great, like I said, a great machine. They always, Leo and Dimitri and all of them, they always did a good job of supporting them. And So, we'll see what goes from there. Maybe something, maybe somebody will, pick it up and go from there for at least for a little while. But yeah, it's a bad thing. Like I said, I'm guessing from what little bit I read and what was in the message that it was a tough decision to be made, but there comes a time that you have to make choices, and sometimes those choices aren't easy.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, the good news is they are a quality machine, and with diodes, if you keep them clean, keep that air moving through them, they do have a pretty long lifespan. And the other thing is, unlike CO2 tubes, modules aren't going to go bad sitting on the bench. As long as they're kept in, climate controlled, decent space. I wouldn't let them freeze and thaw too many times, but so, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be afraid of continue to run one, or maybe pick up some spare parts for them, find a deal on one. They're still a quality machine, and they should run for quite some time. There's some of the original prototypes are still out there running. So, good maintenance on it. You still have a really good machine. It's going to work for hopefully a while. Just means there aren't going to be any updates or new modules or anything for it. And unfortunately, yes, some spare parts may disappear. So, but yeah, unfortunately, that's a sad thing to see. And someone else mentioned also open builds. I mean, I've followed them for many years. Had one of their machines, and they were another one that kind of grew up out of users and owners and kind of a grassroots built up organization back from a very crude CNC machine called a flat printer onto some really nice stuff. So you hate to see some of these shut down, but you also understand that, there's people behind it with real lives, and whether it's just, they get worn out from it or emergencies happen. I can definitely appreciate people taking stock of what they need to do and taking care of family and themselves. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Travis, to my is the field getting too crowded? I don't think so. I mean, I don't think there's really there's some of the companies are stepping out, moving away from doing different things. I don't think Leo's has anything to do with the market in general. I think it was a necessity based on some personal stuff that he had going on from what I read. I don't think it was, that he just wasn't making the money or wasn't sustainable. A small company, that's the problem with small companies. A lot of times some of the best companies are small companies, but one or two key people, have to step away. The company can't sustain itself. And so, it's kind of like the Clack Shack, if I decided I didn't want to do it anymore, it's, I'm a one-man show, so it's probably going to go away. But yeah, so I hate to see that. But as far as the market being too crowded, I don't know that there's such a thing, really. I mean, some of the companies are going to be happy selling, small amounts of machines, and you're going to have the bigger companies that kind of hold a bigger portion of the market share. And I'm going to be honest with you, like when we first started doing this, X-Tool was one of the biggest. Like they were dominating the space as far as like hobby first time laser purchases. And recently they've grown to where they're leaning more towards prosumer, small business, almost up into like commercial, border areas. And so they've kind of stepped out of the race in some aspects. Now, I think the F1 machines, the S1 machines, the P2, I think a lot of those machines I think are still relevant, but there are now becoming, some cheaper alternatives that are capable of doing the same thing. So the markets is kind of evolving. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen in the next few years. I think a few of the companies are going to switch pole positions as far as like if this was a NASCAR race, I think there's going to be some passing and some folks, getting put out of the race for a little while. I think it's going to get interesting in the next 6 months, I believe.
Yeah, it's I mean, what you said about X-Tool is true. I mean, pretty much everything that they brought out this year has been more of it's been a higher end industrial machine. And then the two that they've now kind of hinted at this week, a UV laser and a higher end CO2 style laser, I mean, they're not going to be cheap machines. Though neither of those, just by their nature, are going to be inexpensive machines. So it does feel like they're stepping away from the low end hobbyist arena. So it'll be interesting. But we've seen some other companies kind of step up their game, and I think X-Tool, with the way they did disrupt some of the things with XCS and some of the things they integrated, as far as the ease of the software combined with some, whether they worked well or not, some features like the pushing some of the conveyor things and you're seeing a lot of them others start to try that and do it. And so you need that. Competition is good. Where I see maybe the space getting saturated and some of these places falling off is more of their market. I mean, a lot of these laser companies really got a big boost during the pandemic when people were bored and had money sitting at home. They're like, oh, I'll play around with this. Now things are changing, so yeah, I think we'll continue to see change. I think you're going to continue to see companies come and go. I mean, unfortunately, even for bigger companies, all it takes is one or two bad products. You can really put them in a bind, whether it's reputation wise or just expense wise. So, and that's the thing you run the risk of is, at this kind of hobbyist level, you may get some companies that, even if they're stick around, I mean, look at X-Tool, you bought a D1 and now they've discontinued it. Other companies have discontinued their lasers as well, and they come out with new products. If you really want that strong support and kind of your guaranteed life cycle, you're going to pay for it with a higher cost. So
yeah. Melissa, no, as far as the meet and greet goes, I will be doing a video of it and doing like a recap or whatever. But the whole object of the giveaways at the meet and greet is these are things that I can't ship. So even if I wanted to, I couldn't ship it to you because it's either too big. I don't have the boxes. I can't put it back in the boxes or whatever the case may be. Anything that I can ship, I typically have drawings and giveaways and stuff like that and ship out from here regardless. But some of the things that I have are things that are already put together. And if I take them apart, one, it's going to be a pain to take them apart, put them back in a box, especially since I don't have the box they came in. Because a lot of these machines, I keep them for a few months before I can get rid of them. But I don't have anywhere to store 15 boxes that are the size of putting a laser. And then another thing too is like the last one that I had to take apart and put back in the box. I went back and watched my assembly video and basically just did it in reverse order to get it apart. Cause you know what I mean? You have to, it's a pain. So the machines that I'm doing for the meet and greet will be already put together, up, running, working machines. And you just take it, put it in your vehicle and you leave with it. Because I don't have boxes. But that's the plan. There may be, and there will be events where we're going to be giving stuff away. I know y'all remember around Christmas, especially, we like to do Christmas giveaways. I think last year we gave out several $100s worth of Amazon gift cards. We had a couple of machines that, like Adam Stack had donated a machine. We had some pretty good giveaways around Christmas last year, and I'm planning on doing something similar for maybe. I'm considering doing like a retirement, like first day of full time in the shack type scenario. I'm thinking about doing something like that, but that hasn't completely solidified. But just stay tuned, watch for notifications, because if I do decide I'm going to have like a shack party to celebrate retirement or something, there may be some giveaways or gift cards or something involved. Who knows?
Yeah,
we're definitely gonna be ramping things up after the end of September. So
Zentero's asking, or Zentenro is asking, what would be your pick for a budget 20-watt fiber laser? To me, the one that comes to mind right now, I mean, if you want a fairly decent quality company that's been around but not too expensive, the B4 from Commarker is only I think it's $1,500.
Yeah, if you're looking for just a straight fiber, yeah. If you're wanting to get into like a dual beam, then you got the like the F1 Ultras and the Laser Pecker 5s and stuff like that. But if you just want a straight fiber, I like the com markers. I've got a B4, and it's simplistic, but it works.
Yeah, I've got the B4 and the B6, basically the same source. Just the B6 has the autofocus and a little bit lighter, but both of them work pretty well for a 20-watt fiber and work well in light burn, which is nice. So I think that's about the cheapest brand that's been around for a while. I've seen a few popping up recently. They've even reached out to, I think, you and I about it, and I don't know, still a little questionable on them. I hate to recommend a company that's like brand new and you can't really find a whole lot of information on. So I feel pretty comfortable with CommMarker. I mean, they're not. I mean, they sometimes have some quality control issues, but
I've had
if you're looking budget laser, you're going to run into that sometimes.
Yeah, I've had 3 of their machines for quite a while and never had any issues with them. So,
yeah. Well, I know that like JR and others, we've had a couple of people about the power supply connection issue in like the Omni One, but yeah, mine are still going pretty well, and I'd feel pretty comfortable with that company.
Alabama Digger says, should ASMR can the X1 and make an affordable 24 by 24 CO2 instead? I think, like I said, there's 100 different opinions on this, and depending on your perspective and where you're looking at it from in the space, some people will be like, "Oh, it's a waste of space." Some others will be like, "Oh, I love it." You're going to be all over the gantry. It's kind of like if you said, "Is there a market for a 4-door pickup truck with an 8-foot bed in today's society?" A lot of people would be like, "No, I couldn't drive that to Lowe's because it'd take up 2 parking spots." But if you're in the right business or depending on your job, it may be very suitable for you. So just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean that it doesn't work for other people. I will tell you this. I've had a couple of people reach out to me since they saw that I've got this locally. And it's like, hey, while that's in your shop, we've discussed making this. Do you think you can make this for me before you move it on? And I'm like, golly. So I do think that there is a niche market for it. Like those signs that I do, the name signs that I do. I had to do one. I had a rush job yesterday morning. The lady that I do them for apparently got her wires crossed, and when she ordered the sign, the text was not correct for a retirement thing she was doing. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, can you have it done in 24 hours?" And I'm like, of course I can, because this lady orders from me constantly. And so I used the ASMR X1 to do it. And I'm going to tell you, cutting this 1/4-inch material at 16 millimeters a second is pretty nice. Being able to do it up to, I wouldn't say 48 inches because the plywood's 48 inches, but if you framed it enough, you could. Being able to do something 48 inches long, that's pretty awesome. But like I said, in my situation, what I do, those occasional projects don't make up for the space that it's using in my shop because I don't have that much room. But the right person with enough room and the right setup for project sales, you can make some money with it, because you're not going to get a CO2 machine with a 48-inch bed, especially not a 48 by 48. Most of your CO2 machines are going to be like 52 by 30 something. They're not typically going to be square. So that's a unique size. But I've been looking at CO2 lasers that I could get big enough to do my stove covers on, and you're looking at 10 grand just to get one that's, say, 32 inches wide. And that's an OhmTech. That's not a Thunder. That's not any of the expensive ones. An OhmTech that I've been looking at is, I think, like 10, 12,000. And it's not capable of doing a 48-inch sign. So You just gotta. Everybody's situation is different. Kind of like Steve said with the van thing. You just gotta. If it works for you, then go for it. I don't think it's a bad price if you have a market for what it does. Now, if your market's keychains and coasters, don't buy it because that's not what it's good at. It's not. It is not for precision, small, tiny engraving. It is for big, massive things.
So well, what I was going to say is you're not going to buy the big Ford F-150, Ford F-250, Ford F whatever 50 because you occasionally need to haul rock when day in and day out you got to haul the family around and you got to, keep your wood from getting wet. You're going to buy the van.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a specific case use. I don't think it's for everybody. Just like, the all these other machines aren't for everybody. Not everybody needs a 4 foot by 4 foot CNC. Not everybody needs some folks just need a 6-inch work area. It just depends on your situation. But if your situation is that you want that because it's cool, you got the room to put it, and you want to be the only kid on the block that has one, then go for it. Because that is the one thing that I will say. It's going to, because I've already got an arrangement where I think I can home it, but it's going to be awful that I'm going to have to send jobs out to this guy because he has this machine that I had, but you know what I mean? So you just got to figure out what your play is. Do you have more room that you want to give to it, or can you make more money using that space doing other things? And in my situation, the space that it takes up, I can make more money doing other stuff than I can with that right now. Things may change. Who knows? But
so Great Lakes Laser Supply is asking, is anyone going to the Next Level Laser Conference? We will be there, and that's the one in the San Antonio area.
Yeah, that's in Texas. I had looked at it, but it's too close to retirement. I got I got too many things in the oven right now.
Yeah, Clack and I talked a little bit about maybe trying to make that happen, but we're both too busy. I've got semester startup this week, and I skipped the semester startup in the spring semester this year to go to CES, and maybe doing that again this next year. So it's a bad week for me to be away from my day job, and also stuff going on here with machines and orders and other I'm glad I didn't commit to that because I'd be really stressed out for that. But it does look like a pretty cool conference. A lot of cool people going there and vendors. Good knowledge to be had, especially if you're really trying to ramp up your laser engraving business. So hopefully we'll be hearing more about that from people who do make it there. So hope it goes well for you guys. Great Lakes. Hopefully it's a good show for y'all. And let us know how it goes.
Yeah, like I said, I would not mind going, but it's just the timing is terrible. My daughter's back in band, and we got that fired up. I've got a shop full of tools I got to get tested out and everything. I got retirement coming up. My finances are fixing to change a little bit, and I got to get my feet under me in this retirement thing. I'm gonna have plenty of time next year if I want to go to it. That I'll be able to hopefully make that happen. But like Steve said, now I do plan on, because Workbench Con, we've been going to it the past couple of years, but they put that on pause. So next year I'll probably find another event to go to other than just CES. But I will be going to CES if possible. If nothing comes up, me and Steve are trying to work it out to where we can go. So.
And yeah, we do have a Facebook group, Laser Engraving Community. It should be linked on both of our channels down below. So definitely hit that up. And we always appreciate people sharing relative content. We just ask that, you participate and give, not just completely self-promote things. We've had some, obviously, just people jump in just to try to push their stuff, but we don't mind people that are active in the group occasionally, selling something or promoting a certain thing, but we just ask that everybody is kind of part of the community, not just taken from it.
In moderation.
Yes. But yeah, we'd love to see some photos and such as you're there, as if you get time and if there's bandwidth. We know how some of those conferences go. It gets overwhelmed with people on their devices. So. All right, let's see. Try to jump forward a little bit. If we missed your question, don't be afraid to drop it in there again. But
John says the profit margins are evaporating. I'm not sure if he's talking about laser sales or projects or what, but if
well, probably across the board.
Yeah, I mean, but a lot of that stuff is it's regional. It's it's very complex. I mean, if you're doing the same thing that 50 other people are doing, then yes, it can get very competitive. Sometimes too much. That's when you have to pivot.
Yeah, definitely so. But
it's just tough in places.
Chris is asking, you sure a 4x8 isn't good for doing earrings?
I mean, I guess you could do a whole bunch of them, but the thing is if that's your primary staple, I don't think you need a 4x8. I mean, because you're going to want to do a batch and then move to the next step. Do a batch, move to the next step. And if you're doing a batch of a 4x8, it's going to be a minute before you need to burn more. So I think until you get to the point to where you're waiting on your laser, you're okay. I mean, if you're staying busy in between burns, doing other things, like if you're making whatever and it takes you longer to put them together and finish them and get them ready than it does to cut them out, then you're okay. But when you get to where you're sitting there looking at your laser, waiting on it to finish with that product so that you can move to the next step, it's time to either buy another machine so that you got two of them working, or upgrade something that'll do a little faster job of whatever it is that you're doing. I do believe that, like with everything, moderation. If you're using a $500 machine and that machine you're having to wait on it, and you either want to buy another $500 machine or step it up and buy a more expensive machine, that's cool. But if you're going from a $500 machine to a $15,000 machine, I think you're probably messing up, because unless you just got extra money laying around and you just want to do it. But if you're expecting to your workload to pay for that machine, then be careful.
Yep.
Because I see people, like I see a bunch of them on Marketplace, and these people are trying to get rid of these machines, and it's like, why did you get this?
Yeah, I've seen some people up here. They jumped into this and they bought an Epilog, and they're doing kind of like a side hustle thing. I'm like, wow, that's tying up a lot of your. That's a lot of funds to recoup on, home decor, whatever you're doing. So,
John, there's a couple of different things. I'm a firm believer in, I don't need a Lamborghini to go get groceries. So I want to spend whatever money I have to make money. But if I'm making money, I'm not necessarily looking to upgrade. And that's where I'm at right now, because every dollar that I don't spend buying a bigger machine is a dollar that goes in my bank account that I can spend on something else. So, it's kind of like we said, if you see these guys, and I know everybody sees them, they pull up to the gas station in an F-350 with 44-inch tires on it and got a big winch on the front and on the back, and it's never been in the mud. Okay. That's a waste. I mean, if you want it just to have it, that's fine. That's cool. But like in my shop, I would like to eventually get me a more commercial machine once I get to where I'm doing, like I said, when I get to where I'm waiting on my machines to catch up, I'm going to buy something bigger. But right now, I've got enough machines that I can put this one doing this one doing this one doing that, and they keep me busy. I don't have time. If I had a faster machine, I would just have jobs piling up, needing to be finished, cleaned off, packaged, whatever the case may be. So until I'm waiting on a machine, I'm not really going to go out of my way to spend money to upgrade. So I have been looking at some, because there's a couple of things I want to add to my portfolio for after retirement that I can do, that it would benefit me to have a little bit bigger machine. Like I said, these name signs, I want something that does them a little bit bigger. I like the work area on the X1. I'm not going to lie, but I can't justify that space for that sole thing. If I had one that was that big that would do other things as well, it would be better. But it's like I said, you got to weigh the options. It's and it makes my head hurt sometimes trying to figure out, which projects I want to lean into, which I want to do more, because typically it's whatever makes me the most money in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of effort. That's the jobs I want more of. So, and that's you don't always get those.
Timothy Ours is asking, do you know a setting for black engravings on the B4 and what watt is yours? Both of us had the 20 watt B4.
Black engrave on what?
And yeah, if you're talking stainless steel, I might have some settings, but they're not on this computer because it's literally has two. I've only gotten two of my lasers set up on this one because I just replaced it. So, but if you either hit up the Facebook group and ask that question, or hit me up on my Facebook page, Vintari's Workshop. I will try to dig into that and give you some ballpark. But yeah, let me know the material and whatnot, and I'll try to follow up afterwards with any information I can.
You got some blast gates over there that you use, don't you? I don't use blast gates. I have individual fans. So
I've got some on my 4-inch setup here. They're basically the same as the woodworking ones, so they're not 100% sealed. Those always have just a little bit of a gap to let some air through, but it's enough to kind of let me pick which ones. But these are, I don't remember. I've had them for years from my dust collection stuff. That I think I bought them in bulk from a buddy who was retiring and downsizing his shop. So
yeah, I know folks that do, and if you have multiple machines that aren't running at the same time, that's okay. But if you get to where you're running them all at the same time, there are some considerations that you need to look at, because you don't want one machine getting all the exhaust pull and then the other one not getting any. But it's always an option, and I've thought about it too for some of my lesser used machines. But I end up that hose right there I use for all of these galvos down through here. I hook it to whichever one I'm running that day, because very rarely am I running more than one galvo at a time, because galvos. It's like quick. I mean, you really ain't got time, because by the time you hit go, it's done. So I mean, you don't very rarely would I have like multiple galvos running. It's just not how my workflow is set up.
I did today.
Yeah, I mean, on like a coin or something like that, it's going for hours, maybe. But
well, I mean, even like things like these engravings that take a few minutes. While I'm testing one, I'm running some stuff on the other. But yeah, so a lot of times you're doing smaller jobs they're pretty quick. So
Tony's asking, have you ever seen any lasers that are friendly for a quadriplegic user? It depends. I don't fully understand all of the needs for that. Naturally, I'm sure there's something I would overlook, so I don't know that I can give you an honest answer on that one.
I mean, I would think it'd have to be one of the kind of the flatter diodes. Like the X-Tool S1 without the riser comes to mind, because it has that acrylic lid that's pretty easy to lift, and it doesn't have to sit up too high. So you could reach into it, but you're not going to be doing anything of major depth. Or, I mean,
like galvos and stuff would be okay, probably.
Galvos would be all right for smaller stuff, or even like I've reviewed the Atom Stack P1 and the Sculptfun iCube Ultra. Both of those are smaller, lighter, somewhat easier to move around and work on. But yeah, I guess it's going to kind of depend a little bit on the setup, but I would look for some of those. Another one I'm interested in, but again, this is getting into that new company territory. Alien Cell it's like a 24x18. It looks fairly flat. So it wouldn't be too deep to get into. So it would be something that you wouldn't have to lean over into and such. Things like that kind of form factor are ones that I would probably look at. And they're going to require less maintenance and less tinkering. like a CO2, you're always, having to mess with mirrors and get in on stuff and whatnot. Whereas I think the diodes are going to be a little bit less hassle on that maintenance.
Oh yeah. News fans asking, with the new CNC, how can you tram without surfacing the spoil board first? And how can you surface the spoil board without tramming first? I want to be honest with you. Some of these, depending on what you're doing with your machine, I haven't had a big issue with just having to tram with some of the machines that I've been using. Now I know there's some out there, and I've seen a couple, but like most of the ones that me and Steve recommend, like the Genmitsu 4040 Pro, the Masuda 3S, my Shipoko, stuff like that, the machines that I've had dealings with, it wasn't that critical doing like wood projects and stuff. I mean, I did end up tramming my Shipoko, but I don't know. I don't, I don't know that it's that critical for most people. What do you think?
I think if you don't do it, you're going to notice it, and you're going to be doing a lot of sanding.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what it comes down to is, I mean, you're going to hopefully start with a fairly level surface first, and hopefully you're using something like MDF that's going to also be fairly dimensionally stable and consistent thickness. So it's not going to be that far out, but yeah, you are going to have to do a surfacing job first, and then you're going to have to check for tram, and you're going to kind of slowly dial in on it. Usually it doesn't take too long unless something is really messed up. But if you start with a relatively flat, kind of your frame that the machine is on and that your spoil board is bolted down to, it doesn't take too much to dial it in. But yeah, if you don't, you are going to find yourself doing a lot of extra sanding. If you have it really dialed in, it's amazing once you dial in your speeds and feeds how little sanding you have to do. So
Yeah.
that's the choice.
Yeah, I guess it depends on it depends on the bit selection too. Some bits are going to show it more than others. The wider the bit, the more you're going to notice it. And the step over, however, if the wider your step over, the more it's going to be noticeable.
Yeah, but I mean, even on 1/4-inch bits, if it's out, you notice it.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, I haven't had a big issue. Which I don't, like I said, I don't do a whole lot of like flat surfacing with a lot of these machines either.
Well, but even your profile pathing, if it's not trammed, you're going to see all those step down lines. So
yeah. But yeah, like this little box, it didn't turn out too bad, and that was straight out of the machine. Like I didn't do nothing to that. So, but yeah, in my opinion, you got to flatten the surface. You got to surface it first, then tram. That's the way that I did mine. I don't know if that's the right way or not, but I also got to where I run my surfacing with a 1/4-inch bit too, instead of a big 1.5 inch, just because I'm telling you, it is almost, in my opinion, it's almost easier and quicker with a 1/4-inch bit, because I just set it up and let it run, and then when it gets done, it's done. I've got a 1.5 and a 1-inch surfacing bit, but I like the looks of it with that 1/4-inch with 75% step over. It's pretty awesome.
Well, it sounds like if you're liking the looks of it, then you need to tram your machine. Because I'm
talking about, I just like the other bits, the speeds and feeds on the other bits. Because with the ones that I have, those flywheels, you can't dive them into the bed. You have to come in from the side, because it's got the side cutters. It's not if you drop straight down, it doesn't do well.
It's called a ramping operation.
Yeah, I'm telling you, even if you ramp it, it doesn't like it. I finally figured out.
Maybe your Shapeoko isn't as tough as you think it is. Then
no, it ain't that. It's the bit, just like, and it'll leave a black mark. So
I have never had that problem.
So I've got now to where because it took me a little while to get used to it, because you have to actually come down on the edge and then come into it. and it's doing a lot better. But I tell you, I don't know. I don't like them freaking fly bits. I just don't like them. I can't dial those things in the way that I need to.
Sounds like you need to tram your machine.
Oh, it's trimmed now. I just surfaced it the other day, and it does fine. And I think the other day I actually did use the 1 inch on it because I finally got it to where, like, I have figured out the secret of getting that thing in there and getting it started. Once you get it started, it's fine. It's that initial, like, it's an initial plunge that I was having problems with. But
how deep are you going? You're not supposed to go that deep.
No, it's I'm telling you, I just have to show you the bit one day. But it's like the dang thing is I got a mind of its own when I put that bit in there.
All right.
I do like a 2,000th pass on it when I do it, but it's probably the bit, because the bit that I used the first 2 or 3 times that got me gun shy of it was not ideal. But I've since bought some better bits.
Moving on, Dave Grow is asking, have either of you checked out the Mullet Cyclone Dust Collector? And I did talk with them. They were at Workbench Con, and it's an interesting thing. It might be something that would work well for like a smaller benchtop CNC. I actually talked with them about that. They said they had a couple people using it that way. But other than just the brief interaction with their booth there, I don't really have any direct experience with them. But they do make a lot of adapters and whatnot for their system, and it looks interesting.
Emily Car says, stupid question. What is tram? Would you like to illustrate tram?
Basically, it's making sure that your end mill, or your spindle, is perfectly perpendicular in both directions to your spoil board. So you want to have a flat spoil board, and then you want your spindle to be, you don't want it crooked this way or forward or back. Because what happens then is as your bit goes into things, it's actually going in at a slight angle, and you get anything from really bad
tracks, more or less.
And really bad tracks to just little witness marks and such. So the more perfect you get that, the less of a difference you'll see. Ideally, it's perfectly level side to side, and when you get your step over right, you can almost hardly see the pathing when you're done. So,
and I will go ahead and tell you, if you're OCD, you will drive yourself crazy with this task.
You got to remember on woodworking machines, getting it within a couple thou is good enough.
Well, I had to sit there. I wanted mine to look like it had been sanded when I got through surfacing it, and it does. My Shapoko, I can run a surfacing pass, and it looks like you sanded it with some 220 grit. Like it's right. But I'm telling you, I bet you it took me a full day to get that like I wanted it, because there's not, I mean, you wouldn't think there'd be that much slack where the bolts go in there, like when you loosen it or whatever, to be able to I mean, but it's literally maybe like half a thousandths or whatever, but there's just a little bit of shift in when you put the spindle holder on there. And with the Shapoko, they didn't add any, and I don't know if they do it on any of the other bigger machines. I'm probably in the commercial ones, but there's not like you have like an adjustment nut with like a locking mechanism or anything that you can turn and it causes it to shift. I mean, you literally loosen the screws and you have to bump it or move it and then tighten it back up. And I spent a good while getting it right. But now it's right now. I can, like I said, I can surface it with that 1.5 inch surfacing bit, and it looks like you sanded it. But I about drove myself stupid trying to get it that way and went through a whole bunch of passes of trying to get it flat before I finally got it like I liked it. So that's why I'm saying, if you're OCD, just be warned. You can start playing whack-a-mole if you're not careful.
Same person mentioned they just got an Acmer P2. Wish there was a video of how to use all the materials that was just not a review. And I try to when I do a review of a machine, that's basically what I try to do is go through as many materials that I would typically use on that machine and give some test results on it to kind of get you an idea of what to expect on thin plywood, thicker softwood, maybe acrylics, leather or synthetic leather, things like that. So I know some people just kind of gloss over some of the stuff and regurgitate marketing material. I try not to do that. Try to focus more on the results and the testing. So, and I know both of us have videos out on that machine if you want to check them out. And so both of us should have so at least some ballpark material settings in there for you. So
yeah, and
hopefully you find that useful.
Yeah, but I mean, for the most part, you're still going to need to test. I mean, even if you get like there's some of these companies now that are including material libraries with the machines. Those are good jump off points, but I strongly recommend that you do testing on your own as well. I said if it's a one off and you have no choice, then good luck to you. But if the smart money is on doing your own testing and getting your settings and confirming everything. If nothing else, just confirm that those settings are acceptable to your standards. Because there are a lot of variables that sometimes, even though somebody says this is, they may say this is birch plywood. It just because it's the same tree does not mean that the plywood is the same as the birch plywood that you have.
Right.
The glue, just the glue being different, could cause settings to be drastically different. So.
It's kind of an interesting question that relates more directly to the two of us. John Richardson's asking, what percentage of your business is actual laser work and product versus YouTube sponsorships and equipment sponsors, et cetera? Is it all testing or actual production? I would say that, well, first off,
I've never done a sponsorship.
Yeah, so I don't accept payment from manufacturers for video work. The only thing I'll accept is equipment to do tests, to review it, use it in production, use it in work like that. I know some people will have a fee and whatnot, but ethically, I don't feel right about that. So, the money we make from YouTube is off of ads, off of memberships, things like that. And then with the manufacturers, there are affiliate links, and that's where I feel a little bit better that it's, if my information was valuable enough to say, okay, I'm comfortable with this machine and you want to use my link, I get a cut of it. It's kind of, that's nice. I feel like that's ethically better than the manufacturer paying me and then me basically being at their, it's like being a contractor or an employee for them at that point. So, but going back to that, so like YouTube stuff, I would say is maybe about a third of my monthly income. And then the some of the affiliate links and other things are another portion, but it kind of varies month to month because I don't do a lot of retail work anymore. I used to have my own website with model airplane stuff and other things, and I dealt a lot direct to customer. I do more kind of business to business type things or commission one-offs. I'll still do, but I don't do a lot of like going out to craft fairs or really pushing the end user stuff as much. So, so yeah, that some months it's a lot because I'll get a couple of companies needing stuff done and that eclipses everything else. Other months it's a little light, primarily because I'm not pushing for this to be my full-time gig right now. Right now I'm focusing on getting my kids through college, and my job is primary to that. So
yeah, mine started out 100% physical products. I was doing wood off of the sawmill. I was selling slabs. I was selling wood. I was actually having people bring me logs. I was milling them up and selling them that way. Drying lumber, sharpening saw blades. And then I got into the laser engraving, and lasers took over. I was doing boatloads of tumblers, and then I got hooked up making the stove covers, making the signs, and for the longest, that was mine was 100% like what I made in this shop. But then I started making videos on YouTube just to show people what I could do. I was using it like a local marketing thing. I was just making YouTube videos and, hey, look at this. This is how I did that. And I was posting in some Facebook pages and Facebook groups. People were asking questions. How did you do that? What did you do with this? And so then I started making videos. Now that the channel's gotten as big as it has definitely gotten to where if I'm given a choice, can I sit over top of a piece of material and sand for 8 hours and make money, or can I make videos and make money? I'm going to go for the videos, but I still have my customers that I've had for years that I still do jobs for them every week. And so I'm going to say probably the videos themselves, like Steve said, I don't get paid to do reviews. I know there are people that do, and I'm not dissing on anybody that gets paid to do reviews, but I choose not to because, just like Steve said, I feel like if they're paying me, there's kind of an expectation of, hey, I paid you. You should, and maybe that's not true, but I feel better. I feel like I'm more free to express myself if they have no financial investment other than, hey, I'm going to send you the machine, try it, see what you think about it, make a video about it, and go from there. And if you don't think I do honest reviews, go look at a couple of the machines. Because like Steve said, the only real income other than AdSense that we get from doing reviews on machines are affiliate commissions. But there's a couple of machines that I've done videos on, and I've specifically said, don't buy this. Do not buy this machine, And so that kind of stings a little bit because you're not getting an affiliate commission from that one because you just told everybody, don't buy this. And not to mention sometimes companies, so far, I haven't had any companies getting like really negative about it, but they're probably like in their office going, that SOB, can't believe he said that about our machine. But so far, I've not had any negative, like anything come back on me. But my thing is my business, my entire career, I have built it on my reputation. If I tell you something, I mean it. It's the truth. I don't lie. I don't cheat. I don't try to swindle people out of money. And I'm not going to let a little bit of money from some laser company cause me to undo 50 years worth of work. But yeah.
So his follow up to that was wondering, the reviews take on a different meaning if you're actually using the equipment production versus tinker. And so, we both kind of, I should elaborate on that a little bit. I kind of similarly, I was using my shop as I was producing kits. I was doing more CNC work than laser, oddly enough, before really diving more into the YouTube side of things. They are still used in production. And as a matter of fact, when it comes to certain machines, I've been offered certain things, the X-Tool metal fab. We weren't offered it, but we were asked, hey, do you want to come do this one day thing and create a video over it? And I was like, no, I can't, I have no right to speak on that device. Because that was a much more industrial machine. It was much, my welds are ugly. I am not a welder. And I'm not a metal worker. I'm a tinkerer at best when it comes to metalworking. And so I didn't feel it was fair for me to use my channel as yes, this is something you should get. This is one, I don't want to speak on something I shouldn't speak to. It doesn't mean I won't dive into certain aspects. The Eufy make UV printer, I had used things tangential to it and such. So, I was comfortable with that after talking with them about it. But yeah, if it's way outside my wheelhouse and not something I would see myself using in my shop for myself and customers, you're not going to see it on my channel.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I guess Ammo Car, I guess it is. I'm jacking that name up. I'm fairly confident. But it says you get free machines. Yes, we do get free machines, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you there's I got one machine in particular that comes to mind. I spent over a week of every moment that I had that I wasn't at my day job trying to make this thing work, trying to get it to where I could do a video with it. And then I finally had to do a video basically saying, hey, this thing's junk. Don't buy it. And it is currently out on the porch of my shop because it's no use to me. I got to dispose of it, get rid of it, give it to somebody for parts, whatever, but it is no good to me. I'm not even comfortable really giving it to anybody because I'm afraid they're going to burn their house down with it. So that's when you spend a week doing that. That's when I don't consider these things free, first of all, because yes, it's free. But if I'm in here doing jobs, like if I'm in here working, because I have jobs that I do every week. Like right now, I've got this big machine over here on my table, and this thing's massive. All of those tools over there, I can't use those until I get that out of my way. And those tools over there make me about $1,000 a month. So I've got to get that thing done and get it out of here because that's where my stove cover orders, all that stuff gets done. I had a guy call me about wanting me to do a couple of memorial things that I can't do because all my tools are underneath that machine. So yes and no. The machines are no cost, but your hourly rate and your marketing that you do with these things, because even though this machine, I might not be singing its praises, it's not the best thing going or whatever, these companies want these machines to get seen and they want people that, folks can trust or whatever to have them. And so that has value, whether, we call it free or not, that has value. If I say, hey, I'll come cut your grass for you, if you'll like hold this for me or whatever, there's an exchange. There's something valuable being exchanged, or else the transaction wouldn't have taken place. So it does become sometimes aggravating. I do it because I enjoy experimentation. I enjoy trying new stuff, seeing innovations. I love it when I open up a box and the machine works and it exceeds my expectations. I love that. I actually experienced that today because I haven't had that in a few days because I've either had stuff that was broken by a FedEx driver that I had to fix, or it just didn't work like it was supposed to. And so it was a relief today to open a box, put a machine together, and it worked flawlessly because that's what we enjoy. And so I've spent the past 4 years, every hour of every day that I'm not at my day job, out here in the shop building my business. And yes, I do have a little bit of marketing power that people are willing to barter with me for. But it's trust me, it's not free. You can ask Steve. There's hours goes into stuff behind the scenes that I seen somebody said they tried the whole YouTube thing and it just didn't work out. There's a secret like recipe that nobody knows. It just happens sometimes to be able to make this work. If the good Lord didn't want me having this, I wouldn't have it because it was not intentional. I did not set out to create a YouTube channel. It just happened. And I'm thankful for it because I'm going to be able to retire and have some fun and hang out with you guys on the weekends and stuff like that. But yeah, it was, it was an accident for me. And Steve, his story as well, he is kind of sprung up by accident, just by sharing, things that he was into. At the time, it was model airplanes, right? That's where the name came from.
Yeah. Well, I've got 10, I'm coming up on almost 10 years when I bought my first laser. And I'm probably 13, 14 years on my first CNC machine. And it was out of, first a hobby and then working with some companies that needing to produce some or develop some products and such. And the other part of it for me is that I come from a history of educators. My mom was a public school teacher. My grandma was a public school teacher in a one-room schoolhouse is the thing she always liked to talk about. So yeah, a lot of my original YouTube videos when it came to workshop stuff was just me wanting to share what I'm doing in the shop and maybe a cool fun project and things like that. And then after doing a number of those, the opportunities came up for companies reaching out saying, hey, do you want to try our product? Yes, it's nice. It's some success, but it took work. It took an initial investment, and it takes the right type of person to connect with the audience. So
You have thick skin too,
Well, you
because you
definitely,
might as well go ahead and paint a bullseye on your back.
yeah, yep.
You kind of got to be ready for that part. Let's see. Tony's asking about the green cloth. Yes, that is a machine that it's not like top secret. It's out there. Other people have put it out there, but we were told that there's a certain date that it needs to be put out there. So until that certain date, I'm not going out of my way to let anybody see it. But it's not going to be anything that y'all are going to be like, oh my gosh, there's already some people leak some stuff out there about it. But I just don't want to be that guy, because if anything that I do is when we make agreements with these companies, like I said, I try to uphold the agreements, and sometimes they don't want anything released until a certain day because their marketing people said this is the day, and so just try to go by their wishes on that. North Alabama, like I said, what is the one set on your CNC? Are you talking about the one that's sitting over there on Steve's table too, behind Steve? That right there is the Atom Stack Glacier. It's another water cooled 120 watt diode laser. It is substantially smaller than the ASMR machine is, but it shares some similarities to the ASMR machine. But it's an 800 by 800 work area, which is comparable to the A70 Max. I think that's what they called it. It's basically the same frame as the A70 Max with a different module controller and all that. So,
Yep, and requires it barely fits on a 4-foot front to back.
Yeah, because it's setting on my Shapoko, which is a 48 by 48 CNC, and it takes up the whole table.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could condense the stuff on the side, but that's basically 4 feet by 5 feet there. So if you're looking at it, that's how much space it's going to need, minimum.
Yeah. Now, there is some discussion about an enclosure with it. So if they do come out with an enclosure for it, that would be better. Because right now, that's the biggest obstacle I have is for testing it. Is it's going to smoke up the place.
Well, you just need some of this nice, cool northern.
I don't have any of that yet, Steve. It was 88 degrees down here today.
I know. Well, last year I was running away from tornadoes and such. So this week I got long sleeves on.
Yeah, I do need more space, John, but that's one of those things that, kind of like what I said earlier. If I can justify how it's going to increase my revenue and not just cost me a bunch of money, I would love to have more space. And I do have an idea that I'm going to build a pole barn to put some stuff in and use for storage, but it's not going to be heated, cooled. It's probably not even going to have electricity in it or anything like that. If anything, it'll have a couple of solar panels and some lights just to be able to see at night inside it. But yeah, there are things that I need, but like I said, I've got to make sure my outgoing doesn't outpace my incoming when it comes to money. It's the first rule of business. If you got more going out than you got coming in, you got problems.
Well, it depends if you're in the money laundering business.
I guess that's the one exception, I guess.
I've been looking into it, but it seems expensive.
Yep.
Yeah, there was a question about starting YouTube and not knowing where to start. Just start recording what you're doing. Your first videos are going to be awkward, and you'll learn. But the biggest thing I say is your smartphone will work fine. Just get yourself a good microphone, record a bit, edit a bit, throw it out there, figure out what works for you, and be active in the genre you want to have. I mean, that's how Clack and I started, collaborating. Is we were out there in kind of the laser genre, commenting on each other's videos and others, jumping in on lives and then kind of co-supporting each other as we grow. So, but yeah, it's doesn't mean you're going to be an instant success by any means. It can be a grind, but do things that you find interesting and that you're passionate about, so that it comes through in your videos, and hopefully you'll find your way and find your audience.
Yeah, I will tell you that whatever it is that you plan on doing, make sure you enjoy it, because there's a really good chance that for the first year or two, you're going to be doing it just strictly for fun and for free, because it is very. And you can ask Ryan. I think Ryan did Ryan, did you finally, because Ryan's been trying to get his channel monetized, and I know he was having some obstacles, and like I said, there is, and you kind of got to get caught up in the perfect storm sometimes to be able to pull it off. And like I said, I just did it because that was fun, and it's been very, very fun. You went a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, John said big difference for a guy lasering coasters to actually pay off a $10,000 laser. That's why I don't have a $10,000 laser. This is my workhorse right here. This machine. Oh, I forgot I had something sitting up there. This machine right here makes me about $1,000 a month. And I think, what can you get an X40 for now? It's a 40-watt diode laser, and I invoice out about $1,000 a month for things that get cut, engraved, or marked inside this enclosure. That is how you don't get too crazy with buying. The less you buy, the more you make.
Well, assuming you have income.
Yeah. Now,
yeah, ATV. Yeah, I do put little Easter eggs. So sitting right there is Clack's head for now. I move him around every so often, but I do have a couple of the Clack's heads hanging out in my videos just as kind of Easter eggs for people to notice and pick up on. So, and I think he's got, well, of course he made some changes to his shop, so I don't know where Steve on his stick went, but you occasionally see me making little cameos in his videos as well. North Alabama Smokes asking one more question. Do you guys or anyone here know if you can use the X-Tool screen print frames on an extended D1 Pro? Yeah, you can. If you're wanting to use the jig for placement, it just keys off of one side of legs, so I'm not sure if that'll fit off the back, but you could make your own jig for alignment, and you can use those on almost any laser that they'll fit into. It's just the matter of wanting to get if you have a multicolor one and you need the frames to line up exactly, you got to have a positioning system to make sure the both of them land in the same spot in relation to your artwork. So they make a simple little metal jig for that, or you could make your own. You really don't necessarily need to use theirs to do that. There's just a couple notches in the frames, so it really is just something holding two pins in place, and you got your alignment.
Yeah, I actually engraved one of them in the Rolly in the MK2. All you've really got to have is like my D1 jig kit, this little square end jig. I mean, you could literally just take a corner bracket, like cut you a little L bracket out of wood, put it inside underneath your machine, screw it to your work table or whatever. Like Steve said, as long as when you put it back in the exact same spot. If you're doing multi-layered engraves or whatever, you're good. Yep. I almost broke mine out today if I had been so busy. My daughter was wanting to make some shirts, and I'm like, if I just wasn't so far behind right now, I would do it.
Oh, Ryan says he finally hit it. I'm guessing he's talking about the
monetization.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a struggle. Like I said, my other
channel
is like struggling. I can't get the watch hours. I need some folks to go binge watch over there, because like my other channel is just it's not happening.
Not to mention Ryan also finally hit the big 5-0. So,
oh yeah, it's all downhill from here.
I hear AARP has already come calling for him. So next up's Hover Round. They'll be there.
Yeah, it's all downhill from there, Ryan. But yeah.
ATB is mentioning, he's like, I was a video analyst when I was in law enforcement, so I tend to notice the smallest details. I'm kind of the same way. People really shouldn't show me pictures or videos because I'm always looking at what's in the background. and not always the subject matter.
You talking about that guy right there? I don't know if you can see him or not.
Barely.
Well, I move him around when I'm
Make it
doing
more
video.
prominent. I mean, like, come on, you can't miss that.
Yeah.
Or, put it on a coaster.
There he is. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. When I get a chance, when it's not 100 degrees outside, because this big machine over here running with a 6-inch fan pulling air out all day, it gets hot in here during the middle of the day. But my plan is to make a life size, like this little headpiece I've got right here, Steve. Now that I've got the X1 over there, I'm going to make a life size one. So I'm going to need you to give me a dimension. Like I'm going to need you to measure like somewhere so I can have a dimension to where I can make it life size. I know it's going to be pretty good size because you got a big head, but
it's you plus about a foot. Yeah.
Well, I'll put it to you this way, Alan McCarr. If you're talking about doing the YouTube thing, I've tried not to go all, typical YouTuber since I've been doing this because you know what I'm talking about. Hey, what are you doing today? That's just not me. I am redneck. I am down to earth. I'm out here in my shop goofing off, playing.
Wait. Are you redneck or are you down to earth?
Both. That's the whole thing. Is just like simple living, clean living. So I try not to. Now I do like my lighting. I do have an artistic streak. Okay, I like getting the light balance and the contrast and all that. I like getting all that stuff exactly the way I like it. I don't like my videos being, I'm a little artsy. Okay, but for the most part, I don't want to get to where I edit too much. For one, if you're too particular about your editing, it takes forever. It gets frustrating and it makes you not want to make videos because you're like, oh my gosh, I got to edit. And I don't think people want over edited videos. I may be wrong. And if I am, y'all can let me know. But it's probably not going to change the way I do things, but you can let me know. Because I don't like to over edit because I like for people like you guys are talking about, you see some folks that are just like, how to make $100,000 a year selling this. And I really wish they would tell me their secret because I mean, you have to work. Okay. If it's a get rich quick scheme, it's probably BS. Making money takes time. It takes work. You have to build it up slowly. So I try to keep my videos realistic, down to earth. I don't like overinflate my numbers and all that. Like I said, I know I do have a benefit now of getting machines. I guess you could say in the barter system, so to speak. But the way that I get these machines is I've spent 4 years building, like I said, building that brand that attracts these machines. It's not like I just like send an email like, hey, can you send me a free machine? They're like, oh, sure, here you go. So I've built this business up so that it does help me with that part of it. But to be honest with you, the majority of the work that I do during the week that I get paid for, I'm doing with this one machine right here. Because I started out doing it with an X-Tool D1 Pro that I bought because I bought my first 2 lasers. And I started out doing it with the X-Tool D1 and I still, 3 years later, I'm still making those stove covers and everybody makes fun of them. But you know what? Those things pay the bills. If I didn't make any money on YouTube, I could still stay out here and play in my shop and stuff and pay the bills because between the money that I have to pay for the streaming software that we're using right here, the money I have to pay for the Adobe Suite, if you hadn't priced that lately, go check that jewel out. The money that you spend on domains and email packages for your website. And by the time you figure out how much money you spend actually having a social media presence, it's a lot. So you kind of got to be multifaceted. As far as your business model goes, you can't lean all the way into one. If I could make enough money to where I didn't have to make things, that would be cool. But then I'd be bored. I like making stuff.
Yeah. I had to close the door. I was letting too many bugs in at this point.
Yeah, Bill says you guys are great, not allowing the political crap to divert conversations away while we all watch y'all. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't talk about the political stuff because if I was in the house, I'm not watching it on TV. You know what I mean? There's too much in the world today. The 24-hour news cycle, it's just a little much at times. Me personally, I just like to have fun and concentrate on my hobbies. Looks bored over at Steve's. Well, he's always got me in the same place.
Not always. I haven't moved you in a while, but you know.
Yeah. Big Jack agrees. You don't get much more down to earth than a redneck. Yeah. See, we're the folks that if you're at Walmart and I'm at Walmart and I'm walking to my car and it's obvious that you're having car trouble, here where I live, I'm gonna be like, hey, you need some help? Can I give you a hand? Need a ride to the gas station? Well, I mean, need a jump? What do you need? You can't you don't have that in other places. Like you can be on the side of the road, broke down here, car not running, and people will stop and offer you a ride. You don't get that in other places, and that's just.
I don't think it's fair to say that. I think there's a lot of good-natured people out there, but
well, when I've been to Houston and New York and places like that, people ain't stopping. They'll run you over. I'm not saying there aren't good people, but life is different there. Life is a lot
fair, but I mean, I think you get into more dense populated areas, you're going to find a larger pool of both sides of it. So, but no, my joke there is that there's redneck and then there's crazy redneck.
Oh no, I'm not like I'm not like married my aunt type like that.
Crazy redneck is not anywhere down to earth.
Yeah, that's we're not excessive here.
But John's asking, what do you use to aggregate your feeds and integrate into the socials? For this specific one where we're broadcasting out to multiple channels, we're using StreamYard. And that was unfortunately they decided to raise their price last year. But we talked about it, and the features of being able to have that flexibility of easily integrating those along with some of the other back end features were what we really wanted to have. And so it was kind of worth the cost. So if you're doing it as a single channel, I don't know that StreamYard is worth it, but multiple channels and then the ability to easily bring in guest channels as well was kind of a big selling point, along with their integrated giveaway tool makes it a lot easier. The times we spin up a random giveaway, it works well to capture that across all the channels. So if you're looking for just yourself, there are definitely some cheaper options out there.
Yeah, now I will say StreamYard it's a healthy subscription. Like we lost money on our lives for a long time. The lives aren't for money. We do this for community. We do it for engagement. We do it to have fun. We were spending way more on subscriptions to software to be able to do lives than what the lives were actually making. So they were actually a negative. And from a business model, we shouldn't have been doing them. But we enjoy it. It's fun. It's part of the engagement, building a community, not just y'all guys watching us do a video that was rehearsed and edited and all that, but being able to actually sit down and have a conversation, ask questions. And like I said, sometimes the questions aren't even related to lasers or CNCs, but we just enjoy it. That's, like I said, community is kind of a big deal to what we've done. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's bad people everywhere. Trust me. I spent 25 years in law enforcement, and there are bad people everywhere. I've been to some of the worst communities in the South, and I've been to some of the best ones. Bad stuff happens everywhere, but the probability of bad things happening tend to go up in certain areas, certain situations. a lot of what, around here where I'm at is everybody knows how folks' lifestyle and how we live and the things that we have in our cars and the things that we have in our houses. And so a lot of the things that happen in other places aren't as predominant here. Uh, so it's a little different.
Travis says, I like the reviews, but the lessons and technique is what got me to follow and tune in. And yeah, I try to make sure to mix that up. Kind of like in the video I dropped today, dropping just some shop tips about breaking down some material and using glues in different ways and such. Cause yeah, that, like I said earlier, my nature is to kind of try to be a teacher, try to share my experience and such. So I do also try to sprinkle those into the reviews. I know that sometimes people miss them because if it's blatantly a review and you're like, I don't care about that machine, you're not necessarily going to watch. I do appreciate y'all when you do still watch it and drop comments and such. That's always definitely helpful. And I do try to, like say, try to put some nuggets in there as well to make them also worthwhile watching, even if you're not in the market or overly interested in that machine. So yeah, definitely trying to find that balance between new stuff in the shop as well as tutorials and project videos. Project videos are really fun, but sometimes sometimes I know you've run into this too. It's always nice when a customer will let you use it as a video, but that's not always the case. And if I get inundated with orders, also, this is still kind of my second job. I don't always get to all the fun project ones I want to. So
yeah,
I'm gonna have to take some time off, like retirement here.
Yeah, because a lot of times there's things that I wish I could do videos on, but when I get in from work, I've got like 2 hours to get this project done and take it, and have it like usually Brandy will take it to work with her and they'll pick it up from her office, or maybe they'll come by and I might drop it off with them or something. But a lot of times you're like, because you know how it is, a 2 hour project takes 4 hours if you're trying to video it, because you're constantly moving cameras or trying to stay away from getting in the way of the camera and stuff like that. And there are a lot of things that I record doing projects, but then when it comes time to put the video together, I'm like, man, I forgot to start the camera. So I got like this, I got the beginning and I got the end, but I got nothing in the middle. And
missed that critical step.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, you know what, let's just throw some voiceover in there. It'll still make a decent video. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of times to where like I'll hit the button and think that it's recording, but it won't be. And so then when I go to make the video, I've got the intro on the video and I've got the outro on the video, but I got nothing in the middle. And it's like, oh man. So I physically have to sit down at my computer, go back into Lightburn and start from scratch and redesign the same file that I just designed, even though I've got it saved, just so that I can kind of show you guys the steps to go through. So it's the projects are definitely more fun. But sometimes, and I know Steve's got that problem right now, back in, what was it, January, probably, when these companies start reaching out and they're like, hey, we got this product coming out. We'd like for you to, try it out on your channel. This is what it is. Would you be willing to take it? And you're like, yeah, absolutely. Because springtime for me and for Steve too, from what I know, it's kind of a slow period. From January on into like March and April, it's kind of slow. So it's like, oh yeah, send it on out. I'll be glad to. Well, then it shows up in August and you got a shop full of stuff. And it's like, okay, you talked to me about this in January. So, and that's where I'm at right now. I've got so many machines in here. I'm going to try to break it up by my machine reviews. And I try to do this a lot. My machine review, my first one's just kind of like, hey, this is what it is. This is what they say it does. And these are some cool things about it. And then my second video is typically, okay, now we're going to take this machine and we're going to try to use it for what they say you can use it for and make this project. Because to me, that is an easier watch than it is just, okay, here's this machine again. Y'all want to look at this machine again? Because I do like showing that these machines, not only are they, all the statistical stuff or whatever, but they're actually usable to make projects with. And I know people tell you, oh yeah, you can go get an epilogue and you'd knock that project out in half the time if you had an epilogue. Well, sure, I could. If I had $40,000 laying around here, I probably wouldn't be doing that project to start with. because I wouldn't need money if I had 40 grand to spend on an envelope, you know? So it's a poor man's game.
Yeah. Bob's asking what 3D printers are we playing with?
I got my A1 and love it. Like that. I mean, eventually I would like to get me like an X1 or a P1S or something, but that's that for what I use it for. The A1's fine because I don't care if it takes 2 hours to print something that I need tomorrow. You know, I'm good with it.
Yeah, so I've got the A1 and the A1 Mini still. I did pick up the P1P recently, or P1S, and been playing with that. But I've also been keeping my eye on a couple others. There's the Centauri Carbon that came out earlier this year, but it's been like back ordered like crazy because it's like $300 or something like that. On top of that, there's the Flash Forge also has a similar like the A5DX or something like that. It's a similar kind of inexpensive Core XY machine, but they have their kind of their equivalent of AMS on it. So I've been keeping my eye on some non-bamboo printers to maybe try out as well. Just knowing that some people, it might be the price tag, although bamboo is threatening to come out yet another printer here in the near future. Maybe that'll push some other prices down. But also just the, whether they want to use open source software or something that's not so cloud-based. Want to have maybe another option to let people know that, hey, this might work out well. So seeing if I can work something on there. Been keeping my eye on a couple of those, but also just been kind of inundated. And 3D printing is a good wintertime activity up here. If it gets too cold, I can just run those down in the basement easier. So, but yeah, those are kind of the bamboo is a great printer if you're looking to get started and aren't worried about the cloud-based nature of it. Heard a lot of good things about the Centauri Carbon that I've been almost clicking that buy now button every so often, but I've been also looking at that Flash Forge, and I think Flash Forge is even offering I think during this month they have like some sort of buyback, or not buyback, but they have like a trade-in kind of thing where I think they'll give you some money on your older machine towards one of theirs. So yeah, I haven't tried that printer yet, so I'm not saying you should go out and buy it, but there's a deal that's out there from them as well to look at. If you're looking at them already, maybe look into that aspect.
Yeah, Jim said didn't know you were a popo. We got about 10 years in. My brother had 20, and my dad retired after an on-the-job injury. Yep, I've been doing it for 25 years almost. Matter of fact, October 1st will be the end of my 25 years. And I'll be retiring in 38 days now? Yeah, 38 days.
I mean, I joke. I'm really happy for you, of course. It's just crazy to me too that, I mean, I think it sounds like you started there basically the same time I started my job, because I'm coming really close up to my, I think it is actually a date in October is my 25th anniversary there.
Yeah, well, see, I graduated high school in 1993. Straight out of high school, as soon as I turned 18, I went to work with Asplin Tree Expert Company, and worked there for a few years. Moved up, got a foreman's job. I ran the Giraffe, which is that skidder machine with the blade that shing shing shing. So I ran that for a while. I worked with Asplin from '93 until like October of '99. That's when I went to work at Montgomery Police Department, Montgomery, Alabama. Stayed down there until 2001. Came back home to the sheriff's office here locally. Stayed at the sheriff's office until 2008. And in 2008, I left and went to the city of Clanton, which is where I've been since. And so this year is the last year. So, yeah. But the good thing is doing what I did, and I've got a couple of videos if you want to go look for it. There's a couple of videos that I've done on my career and some of the things, but doing it, pay never was my motivation for doing the job. It was always just wanting to help people, I guess, which sounds kind of cliche, but it's the truth. And feeling like doing my part. I didn't go in the military. I never was in the military. I came really close, but I never went in the military, and so I was just kind of doing my part here at home. And this time is up. I have worn my body out. I've had several injuries and stuff like that, and associated stuff that's kind of haunting me. But it's time for me to move on and do something else. The good Lord has blessed me with the opportunity to start during COVID. I started doing woodworking and sawmilling and all that out here, and it's spiraled into what you see here today. So, that's not, I didn't do it. It was kind of gifted to me, I guess. Good Lord decided I'd done it enough, been in the trenches long enough, and I need to do something different. But that's where we're headed. Hopefully in October. This is gonna be my job in October. I'm gonna be drawing my retirement check, which is it's good. I'm blessed to have what I have. There's a lot of people that don't have that coming in, but I'm still gonna have to work. I'm still gonna have to run my business out here to substitute some income, because insurance for family coverage insurance is gobbling up a lot of what that check's going to be that I get from the state. So I've got to subsidize a little income. And so that's what this is going to do. I'm going to continue selling to my local customers. I'm going to ramp up. I've got a few other things in the works that I'm going to lean into to try to make more money doing my woodworking and laser stuff. And then, of course, I'm going to lean into YouTube and the online presence a little bit more. So we'll see how it goes. Y'all check back with me. Check back with me about January, and we'll see if it's working. I'm hoping it's working. That'll give me 3 months.
See if we find you at the local Walmart pushing carts in.
Hey, don't think I ain't above it. That's what I told somebody the other day. If I was going to get a job though, at a retail facility, it would have to be Tractor Supply, because you know how irritating it is to go into Tractor Supply. I know some of you guys do. No. And you get there and it's this 16-year-old kid that's like in high school that's never worked on anything, and you're trying to, you're trying to find parts and pieces. So I would be probably the most informative person that has ever worked at the Tractor Supply here in my hometown, because whether it's the welding stuff, the woodworking tools, the DeWalt rack, whatever, I've got a little experience with it. So push come to shove, I'm gonna get me a little red vest and go to work at Tractor Supply.
Well, no, I don't have that problem, because I go to Fleet Farm instead. So
yeah, but now I do.
More so Menards. I go to Menards and find the high school plumbing guy. Yeah.
I did computer forensics for a long time. Managed the PD's IT network, and I actually did go back to school to get a networking IT network management degree. So, I mean, I guess I could fall back on that, but oh man, I don't. That's one of the, I thought it was a good idea back then, but now I'm like, I don't really want to deal with people like that.
Well, just go finish up that degree, and I have a guy that's probably retiring in a couple of years.
No, I mean, I'm good to go with the networking. I don't think me and Minnesota's not going to get along. -30 is not my thing. I mean,
yeah, but see, being as the hiring manager, I'm going to need to see that degree.
It's cool, but I'm not moving. I'll stay my little butt right over here.
Yeah, well, there's that problem.
But I don't get into it. I mean, it's not, especially networking. The only reason I got it was because at the time there were some jobs that I was interested in the private sector. Certain banking institutions were hiring people with a computer forensics background, but they wanted you to have a degree. So you had to have something to go along with it. And that at the time was my plan, was to go to work with the banking institution, because they paid really well for somebody to basically just sit and investigate internal thefts and work on their network security people. So I got to where I was like, doing this, and it got to where I was juggling schools and doing this, and that's when I was like, you know what, I am not going into that anymore.
Yeah, Mark, this guy sounds kind of like me, where I keep threatening work that I'm like, I am a couple clicks away from going and being the paint guy at Home Depot. I want some easy job that I don't have to think too hard. And
yeah. Rob said he had 37 years as a government employee and retired 2 years ago. Have not regretted my decision one time. Since I'm so busy now, I don't know how I ever had time to go to work. And that's the one thing that I have noticed is, as I'm talking about going through retirement, I haven't had one person tell me, yeah, I retired and I wish I hadn't. I haven't heard that. Nobody has told me that. Everybody keeps saying you're going to regret it, but I haven't found that person that regrets it yet.
There are a few. There are a few out there, but that they're the ones who kind of get they're pushed into retirement by someone else. You know, I've known a few that is just work is their life. That is their social structure, and the thought of retirement, they're just like, I can't. And yeah, that's true. They leave work. They don't have anything to do. You see people go one of two ways. They retire, and all of a sudden they look younger. They're happier. They're, busier but enjoying it. And the others who are just, they age quickly and they're depressed. But
somebody want to know if the Home Depot has a glue manager. That would be a good job for Steve.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna
get a job at a glue company. Like, does Elmer's, do they have any openings right now? 3M. I mean,
you get in with Type Bond.
Some of these people. You can do like vendor shows for Type Bond and demonstrate glues.
There we go.
Yeah, our Walmart doesn't have greeters anymore. They did away with those. Budget cuts, I guess. Now you got to check yourself out at a cash register, and nobody tells you thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, they don't have the greeter anymore. They have the person who checks the receipts.
They don't even do that at ours. They just look at you funny if you walk through it. And
wow.
They go,
yeah, but
yeah. Jack used to wear the orange shirts back in the day with Astlin. Me and him have discussed that before.
Well,
maybe do some classes on CNC and woodworking stuff. Yeah, well, that's kind of what we do. We do virtual classes, not necessarily like a class per se, but like I said, it's hopefully going to help me between my actual business and then sharing stuff that I do out here. Hopefully, I'll be able to make it. Like I said, give me till about January or June, we'll figure it out. See, look at there. Billy said he retired 50 years in IT. That could be you, Steve. 50 years.
I hope not. I'd like to think I'm more than halfway over.
Steve's new YouTube channel will be glue, and I'll stick with it. Yeah, Steve does have a glue fetish.
I technically started a new YouTube channel today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What did you start?
Well, it's not specifically for me, though.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
But I did have to edit and post a video to it.
Oh, you got a tutorial video going out?
No, it's for our model airplane club. I didn't even do the recording. I just got sent the video footage. Said, "Hey, can you put this on the website?" I'm like, "Really?"
Hey, I can't say anything. We've got these radio / phones that we use at work, and you're always having to like reprovision them. And there's a barcode that you have to scan and all this. And nobody could get it right. And they kept calling me. Like, it's the same. Hey, how do you do this provision? And I done forgot. And so I did. I came home and I set up here and I did a video on how to provision your device and shared it out with the police department. And now, like, if anybody has an issue, their supervisor just sends them a link to the video and they watch it. And it's like a step-by-step on provisioning your radio. Yeah. So, yeah, I've actually, content creation was one of my things I did at work too.
Yep. And by the way, ATB, we appreciate it. Never ask for it. We always appreciate it. So
thank you. We appreciate that. Yeah, anything y'all can do to support. Like I said, we don't ask for a lot of donations and stuff like that. The thing that we would ask is if you like the content and you're watching the videos and it's helpful, or if you just want to support us, go use those links. I think Steve's got a landing page on his website. I've got one on mine where we have our assorted affiliate links. Some of those companies pay us. Some of those companies say they're going to pay us, but don't. But either way, it does let the companies know that, you know, them sending us their products is not a waste, because people are actually coming to their site and using their site. Like I said, some companies pay better than others. Some companies claim they pay, but I can't guarantee it. Amazon's a good one that is pretty dependable. So if you want to support us and you're buying something and you're going to be buying it anyway, then, you know, go grab a link. That always helps out at the end of the month, because it's pennies add up. You know, if everybody throws a penny or two in the hat, it adds up at the end of the month. And that's one of the things that we use to offset. You know, I just like the subscription for the softwares and stuff like that. All of that stuff has to be paid for. And so the videos, yes, YouTube pays. Sometimes it's better than others, but it's nice to have that little bit of money coming in from those affiliate links too. And like I said, it lets the companies know that sending us equipment's not a total waste, that people are watching the videos, using the links and stuff like that. So,
and most importantly, we just appreciate you watching videos, commenting on them. That's actually really huge. Just dropping a random comment on video after you watched it, you know, that goes a long way. Both, I mean, it gives us a nice little bump. You know, just someone's out there, someone watched it, someone left a comment, but it also does help YouTube recommend it to others. So, you know, we're not asking you to spend money to support us if you don't want to or don't have it. You know, just watching the videos, commenting, being here, that's all very helpful. So
yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, you can literally go use one of my affiliate links and create a thumbnail or a bookmark for your Amazon page. That's fine. That's cool. That's acceptable.
Nope.
Somebody mentioned the other channel. If you haven't already found it, if you're into stuff that's not necessarily shop related, or you just want to see what kind of shenanigans I'm up against or doing, feel free to go check out that channel. I think I put it in earlier, but I don't remember if it's sent or not, because I was in the process of moving. But yeah, that's the other channel that I'm trying to spin up. But here lately, I've been a little busy. I haven't put any videos out. I'm going to try this week to do something, a short video on something for that side of the house, so to speak. But that's going to be, as I retire, I'm going to put a lot more like behind the scenes, non-shop related content over there, because I don't want to mess up the shop channel. So like, if y'all are just curious what's going on. Whoa, Steve, where'd you go? Dang it. Somebody call Steve, an IT guy. He has just literally just fell out.
That was weird.
You need an IT guy? You need to call somebody? Get the Geek Squad en route? I mean, what you got going on?
I think I bumped a button on my mouse that hit the back button.
I was like, there it is. His internet went out again. Hey, I can come hook you up, bro. My router's been being a little fuzzy, and I was afraid it wasn't going to make it this week. So look what I got right there.
Yeah.
This is the third generation of these things that I've had the past few years. I keep upgrading to the next model because they keep coming out. Like, it's like every week they're upgrading. This is like 6E Wi-Fi, and there's actually 7 out now. But I mean, this thing was kind of costly. But I have a mesh network. I got one that's up there that works out here, and then I got this one's going to be the main dude inside the house.
Oh, so what I miss?
Amalar, if they try to hack me over here, I think I'm okay. I know they're from China, but if you look around, there's a whole bunch of Chinese products over here that if they want to get me, they're going to get me. So I don't think I got to worry about my router. Because there's a laser from like every province in China. There's a laser that came from there sitting around this shop that could have some kind of hidden spyware in it if they wanted it to be. All right. Yeah, that it's because it's got all the different like bands and different networks. It can broadcast several different Wi-Fi signals at one time, like literally 4 channels of 4 different like Wi-Fi's, 2.4, 5 gig, 2.4 guest, 5 gig guest, IoT network. Like it can spin up a whole bunch of networks.
Chris, I tried to tell him, but he doesn't have neighbors, so you
Wi-Fi.
don't have to worry.
I ain't got
about the
hey,
cows.
I ain't got y'all's money, and I don't have any neighbors. The cows don't use Wi-Fi. So
Or do they?
So Amalar, actually, if they put the right little devices in there, you'd be surprised what they can get. Most of these things have cameras, blah blah blah, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not that if I get to where I'm that big of a priority, they can come get me.
And they all send those nondescript USB drives.
Oh yeah, I got like pockets full of those things. And I got cameras, I got computer. For that matter, most of the computers you get are from over there. So if they wanted to get you, they just put something on the computer itself. That way they ain't got to worry about your router. Some kind of 2-way encryption on it so that you can't even detect it, even if you're running a packet sniffer on your network. But yeah, I'm not too worried about that. Like I said, no top secret information over here. If they want to spend that kind of time and energy to hacking me, go right ahead.
Well, any final thoughts or questions?
Not a whole lot. I mean, I'm just trying to get caught up. I got to go back to work this week. So I'll be at work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'll be off Friday. So I won't get a whole lot done this week, probably. I hope to get a couple of things done.
Is that a 4-day weekend for you then?
Yeah, Fridays are stress days now. I'm having to take mental health Fridays because
you also have Monday off, right?
Monday. Is Monday a holiday?
The following Monday, Labor Day.
Oh yeah, I'll get that off too.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have a nice 4-day weekend next.
Yeah. Well, see, what the problem is I've never really taken a whole lot of sick time up until the past couple of years, and so I've got almost 700 hours of sick time, and they'll only let me cash out 600 hours of sick time. So instead of donating like 100 hours of sick time to them, I've put myself on 4 days a week. I'm taking a mental health day on Fridays to relax my mind. To get rid of all that sick time.
Yeah. Well, I got a few years to worry about that yet, but
yeah, Friday is laser therapy day, so I just take off and go home and do laser therapy.
You're getting some laser therapy done.
Yeah, laser therapy, CNC therapy, whatever you
have. Whoops, hold on, Don. Yeah, the modules that you and I have anyway, David. We've checked that, and they do fit. I just don't remember the O-ring.
Yeah, I don't remember that exactly. And mine is like up here.
Yeah, the lens itself does fit. I just can't remember which O-ring I had to use, or if I had to get a different one. But they have the original 10 module for the original MK. It's the same as like the actual ones, but they have a slightly different setup on the MK2 30 watt, but the lens itself does fit. But I'll have to try to double check that one to see if it's the small O-ring or something else. But yes.
All right. But like I said, guys, if you haven't already, go check out Laser Engraver community page. That's where we share. You guys can share stuff, share ideas, ask questions, just keep up with things that are going on. We try to share things. If we have any important upcoming events, we'll try to share that in there. So yeah, it's a good little page. A lot of you guys, I know I see a lot of you putting, your works and stuff in there, and it's cool. That gives everybody an opportunity to share instead of just me and Steve being the only two sharing our stuff. And it is a really good place to ask questions, because a lot of these guys that are in here that watch the show that have done this longer than I have, some of them, sometimes they have the answer to the question before me and Steve even see the question. So it's a good resource to have. So if you hadn't already, go check that out. Laser Engraving Community. There's a link in the description of mine and Steve, both of our videos. And yeah, until then, be sure to mark it on your calendar. Sunday nights, 7 p.m. Central. So far, we're at, what was this, 142, ain't it?
Yep.
And so we've got a good little record going. We're trying to continue that, and we'll be back next week, Lord willing.
That we will, and hopefully not too stressed out from a week of.
Oh, look there, our friends from Adam Stack. What? Adam Stack. All right, glad to have you. You should have commented sooner.
Always, yeah. But yeah, more to come on that front. Both you and I will have. I mean, I only get a 3-day weekend. I don't know if they're going to let me out early on Friday, being the first week of the semester. But I'm hoping our good weather continues, and I'll be able to open the doors up and continue to do some testing and have some fun project time. We got a couple. That's the thing. I have a number of ideas in my head between like just tutorial things and project things I want to get to. So hopefully this fall time is real productive for me and such.
Yeah, and I've got a video probably. It's gonna be coming up pretty soon. This was done with a machine straight out of the box today. Put it together, got it on the bench, installed some drivers and software, and wham, did this little guy. I did 3D engrave and doing some testing. And I know me and Steve both have a new desktop CNC that you guys may be interested in. So stay tuned and stick around and watch. Oh, there's a little bit of a line in that one. That's probably me. This is the one that I told you I had to put some clamps because it was.
Oh, you start moving a little bit.
Yeah. Yep. But anyway, till next time, guys. Be safe. Have a good day.
We'll see you.